Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Esley Greer from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, back with another video, and today we are talking about why Danielle Harris does or does not deserve to come back to the Halloween franchise again. And so I'm on the left side about this argument, and I think that she doesn't belong in this franchise. So what do you think?
I think she does.
You think she does? And so with that said, let's get into this debate. So today I'm joined with one of my best friends, Draven. I've known him since we were about 5 or 6 years old, which is like 16, 17 years ago. And I can't believe it's been that long. And so we're going to go with his theory as to why she does deserve to come back to the franchise.
Well, me being a sort of fan and sort of not fan of the Thorn trilogy, it kind of gives me this idea that Danielle Harris kind of got the shaft whenever it came to playing Jamie Lloyd. Because in Halloween 6, not only was her character killed off, but she didn't even play the character after she already said that she wanted to.
It was somebody else, but she was already by her uncle, Michael Myers.
Only in one cut, though.
And yeah, in one cut. The one that I watched, I don't know which version that was.
That's the producer's cut.
It's the Wow.
Yeah, that's the producer's cut.
Okay, wow. I've had my mind blown for like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, it's pretty fucked up how that went. I don't know how the theatrical version went.
The theatrical has no uncle. It's more so they took it from Michael and gave it to her instead of like making it out like, oh, Michael, you know.
They took it from Michael and they gave it. So it's like sort of like a it's like a sort of don't breathe situation. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Where like he doesn't the victims, but he does put his into the victims.
The only difference is Michael's not using the
turkey baster. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's the only difference.
So she does deserve to come back because of that situation, because her character does deserve better.
I think so, and the biggest reason why is because then right after that movie you have another split in the timeline, you know, with Halloween H2O.
That's where my point's going to come in, but you can continue yours.
You know, to me, it's kind of irritating to me because no matter what's happened with the timeline, the first timeline of 1 and 2, or 1 in 2018, you know, 1, 2, H2O Resurrection.
Yeah.
No matter what's happened, Jamie Lee Curtis has been able to come back.
Yeah.
And reprise her role as Laurie Strode. So I feel like why couldn't they have given that opportunity to Danielle Harris too? You know, to try to, because they gave her a son in Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they have kept the daughter thing and at least acknowledged that she died?
But they also gave Jamie the whole point of a son. The baby was a son, right? So they could have continued that story-wise, but they never did.
Yeah.
So you could have got that story with the baby. So that's what goes into my theory as to why she shouldn't return, is because Halloween 2018, you know, it's a new film in the franchise, but I think, as me and him have talked about this before, but this is a different timeline in the franchise, and her story doesn't belong in the franchise as to right now. And Halloween 2018 to me was not great, was not good. It was okay, but he liked it more than I did. But for right now, I don't think her character deserves to be in that franchise, because I think she's done a lot better in her franchise than any of these up-and-comer actors that were in 2018.
That made a lot of sense. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Really?
That made a lot of sense.
Yeah, because she deserved a lot better than she did in Halloween 5, which Halloween 5 is my least favorite in the franchise, but Halloween 4, I didn't like it to begin with, but once me and him watched it again, like back in October of 2020, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I got all the references and as to why she, you know, is one of the best characters in the franchise. And I always agreed that her and Rachel had like a tight chemistry in that film. But as to right now, if they came up with like another timeline or the same timeline as the Thorn trilogy, but excluded 6 because her character died in 6, she could probably do something with her character in 6, but for right now, I don't think she belongs in this timeline, and she doesn't need to return to the franchise with this timeline. Maybe another one, but that's just my first reason as to why she shouldn't.
And you actually got me to thinking about something right there. At least from my own opinion, thinking back to Halloween 4 and Halloween 5, not counting Halloween 6.
Yeah.
But Halloween 4 and 5, I think where they really screwed up the character of Jamie.
Yeah.
Was by killing off Rachel.
All that too, but she made her a mute.
Yeah.
She was a mute in the whole in the whole movie, or not the whole movie, but like the first half, she was a mute. And then with Halloween 4, you had the ending to where Jamie might have been the next killer, and that would have been a fascinating twist to the whole franchise. And they didn't go through it, and that's why like Halloween 5 is my least favorite, is because they didn't go through with that plan. But that's besides the point, because I'm saying no and he's saying yes.
Like, to me, it's kind of one of those, and that's kind of goes into what I'm talking about with why I think she should come back.
Yeah.
Or at least get the opportunity to come back.
Yeah.
Is because Halloween 4 showed that she was a really good actor. You know,
Yeah.
like actress.
At first, it made me cringe, but once we started to watch it, like 30 minutes into the film, I'm like, damn, she's a really good actress, even though she's like, what, 7 or 8 in that film? Did a lot better than I could at that age. So.
Yeah, and at the end of Halloween 4, they set it up for her to take the torch, as they say, from Michael to take over as the killer.
But they didn't go through
that
with
didn't happen.
No.
They made her a mute.
Yeah.
And there was no reason for it. They never explained why she was a mute, and then why at the end of the movie she just starts talking again.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no reason as
just
to
out
it,
of
man.
nowhere. You know, and to me, I feel like it hurt Danielle Harris a lot.
Yeah.
In her early part of her career, because
she could have returned to 6.
Yeah.
She could have, but what they did with her character, it just didn't fall through. It didn't. It didn't work. But my second point as to why she doesn't need to return is because she's already returned to the franchise. You had Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, and you've already had like this one scene in Halloween, or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, where it made me cry, where Brad Dourif, which is the voice of Chucky, which is Child's Play franchise, is my favorite horror franchise of all time, but that's besides the point. You had an emotional scene with him, and you never get an emotional scene like that with her in the Thorn trilogy, to me, to be honest. You had her character die off in 6, but that wasn't Danielle Harris. It was some other actress. She did fine with the role she was given, but it didn't really make me feel like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 did, even though it's a different character. She was playing Amy in that one, so that's she had a great send-off with that film instead of Halloween 6.
I can understand where you're coming from with that, because in Halloween 4, I mean, she lost people that she might have cared about.
That's true.
But not much. I mean, the biggest thing that could have really impacted her was her killing her own stepmom. Which in the next movie was retconned. And they were like, oh, she didn't actually kill her. She just stabbed her.
Yeah.
You know, but then after that, Rachel dies. And she really doesn't have very much of a reaction to it other than screaming and then jumping in the coffin and waiting for Michael. You know? So there was a lot of things that I feel like we didn't get to see how the character that she could have played could have turned out. You know what I mean?
But you also realize in Rob Zombie's Halloween, if you see all that traumatic stuff she goes through in Rob Zombie's Halloween, she goes through that traumatic experience, even though it's for a different character, but you can imagine it in your head. She's stressing and has that anxiety over Rachel, but that's besides the whole point. It's a different character, but it's the same actress. So he's going to talk about his reason 3 as to why she should belong in the franchise. So take it away, dude.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really have a third reason. I mean, what I've already stated is kind of the two main things for me.
Okay.
That kind of says why. I mean, to me, the one thing, and for anyone out there, the biggest crutch to me for Halloween is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's the biggest crutch.
I
know?
totally agree.
And I hope that they can get away from that, you know, and it just kills me because with Danielle Harris, that was their opportunity to get away from Laurie Strode.
Yeah, because how many Laurie Strode stories do you know, and how many times have they copied the story in the franchise? That's why I just leaned towards us to not liking the whole franchise as a whole, because how many times have you known that? There's 1, 2, Halloween H2O, Resurrection, now there's Halloween 2018.
And then
you only had Danielle Harris in 4 and 5 and the remakes, but and those timelines it doesn't really count. So,
and then if we're just being honest, you know, you might as well throw Halloween Kills in there because there's no way they're gonna kill her off in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, so you might as well just go ahead and throw that one in there.
If they do, I want them to pass the torch to her granddaughter. I forgot her name. Allison, yeah. If they pass the torch to Allison, I would totally get it in Halloween Ends. But for right now, I don't know how that's gonna go. Because like you said, it kills you inside that we haven't seen Halloween Kills because of the pandemic. Because we would have seen it like 2 or 3 months ago, and maybe that was my other opportunity to get big into the franchise. But that has nothing to do with Danielle Harris right now. So my reason as to why she doesn't belong, or she doesn't really need to come back to the franchise, is because she has her own franchise outside of Halloween, which I haven't seen the Hatchet franchise, but she's already been in what, like 1 or 2 or 3 of them?
I think there's 3 actually.
No, there's actually 4.
There's 4?
There's Hatchet 1, 2, and 3, and then Victor Crowley. But I don't know how many of those films that she stars in, but she has her own opportunity to do other things, and I find her to be an underrated actress because the only people that know of her are in the horror community. She deserves a spot in the spotlight to other people that's outside of the horror franchise. She's an underrated actress. She seems really down to earth, but she deserves better than what she's got right now. So that's my third reason as to why she doesn't need to come back to the franchise. But she has her own other franchise to worry about. Because I'm pretty sure that the Hatchet franchise is probably going to get another film. I'm not entirely sure, but there's already 4. So, you know, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 5th one sometime soon when the pandemic is over. So, but I haven't seen them, so I don't know what happens to her character. But like I said, she has her own other franchise to worry about.
Me, I feel like Halloween, you know, pardon the pun, but I feel like Halloween has its own curse, you know? Like that, you know, like that, you know, I feel like that the curse for Halloween isn't so much the boogeyman and Michael Myers, it's more so Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, for whatever reason that I still don't understand, you know, if Laurie Strode's not in it, most people don't want to watch it.
That's true.
That's
true.
And
it's only the die-hard horror fans that want to see something else. So.
You know, and that kills me because, you know, the same as it was with Jamie, you know, I feel like Allison will wind up being the same way if they go past Halloween Kills and try to make more, or Halloween Ends and try to make more movies. You know, I feel as though that it'll be a repeat of Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
You know, where they don't want that. They want the same thing that we've already gotten plenty of times.
So I'm going to make this comparison. I don't know if it's because I'm tipsy or not, but Halloween to me is sort of like video gamers or video game developers and consumers. The Halloween franchise makes, for me, you might get pissed off if I say this, but I feel like the Halloween filmmakers make films for most consumers as to why, like, the PS4 and Xbox One when they came out, it was more for consumers than gamers. These movies, to me, aren't really for Halloween fans. We want to see something different. Well, we haven't got something different since what, like Halloween 4 when the whole Thorn franchise started. But before that, you had Halloween 3, which I think is an underrated classic in the franchise. But I don't know if that's like a good comparison to make.
It's like the fan base is split, and I feel like it's always going to be. You know what I mean? You're gonna have those people that would rather, you know, Laurie Strode always be there, and you got those people that would rather have Danielle Harris stuff have worked out with her.
She seems like a really down-to-earth actress, and she even videotapes like her signing autographs for fans, like on her website. Yeah, she seems really cool, but she deserves better, in my opinion. That's why I say that. Would it be nice to see her in the franchise again? Yeah, it would. But I don't think it needs it, because, like I said, it's gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again, in my opinion. So we're probably gonna end the video right here, because we've already said what we needed to say. Yeah, because we've been talking about this for like 20 minutes straight. I'll probably edit it down to like 15. He's on the boat as to why she does need to return to the franchise. I'm on the boat that says she doesn't really need to, because she's doing her own thing. But I respect, you know, either opinion if you say she does or doesn't. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.